Bluegrass kicking in gear.
That right there was about 8 days. Welcome to the world, Blue Heat.
Alright, so here we go. Test plot, aeration and overseeding. And you can look at it and you can tell it is severely drought stressed. Look at that green yard over there, my neighbor. I aerated and seeded his yard, fertilized it about 2 weeks ago. And he's been pumping water to it, so he is coming on out like a champ. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And I'm back here on my test plot. It's a 100% turf type tall fescue. Obviously I have not been watering it, and it hadn't rained in 45 days probably. And we've been low 90s, upper 80s, mid 90s some days, severe drought, super blistering hot for this time of the year, record breaking temperatures, and I've been working, just been busy, so I ain't had time to water it, so that's why it looks so piss poor. For the most part, this spot of grass has done me very well. I've enjoyed taking care of it, but 2020, it's gone. The Blue Heat, the GCI Turf Kentucky Bluegrass Blue Heat is going to be back here 100% over the entire area. We're going to irrigate it, renovate it, fill in the ditch, level it out, slick it down. 100% bluegrass back here. Of course, I'm going to keep my fescue in the yard. I'm not going to dare change that. Not this year anyway, or not next year. I'm not planning on changing that anytime soon. But this is going to be bluegrass because I want something to reel mow. I want a large area to reel mow, so this just makes sense. So that'll kind of get you up to speed on the game plan on this. What we're going to do today is I'm going to aerate and seed. And again, it has not, man, we hadn't had any rain or any water. The ground is absolutely rock hard. A lot of this turf's just dormant. It's not dead, it's just dormant. I went through with a blower and kind of would blow really hard, kind of using it like a dethatching tool, and blew all of the stuff that just really hadn't rooted down to the ground. I'd blow that out, and typically that part might be dead, but anything that sticks to the ground and is still there when I get done, typically, there's no certainty in this, but typically that part of the turf's still alive. So once they get some water and cooler weather and a little food, it'll pop right back to life. Now I did have to mow it earlier. It's kind of funny, I haven't mowed this back here in at least 45 days. It might be closer to 55 days. But when we turned off hot and dry, I stayed off of it, did not mow it. It got really deep and really bushy and really shaggy. But I also, by doing that, I preserved most of the turf back here. I didn't mow it to death and kill it. That's just one of the ways I manage drought conditions, is stay the heck off of the yard. And that did leave me with a little bit of mess. So what I had to do was I took my mower and used it kind of as a blower, and I had my backpack blower at the same time, and I was kind of working that material, the clippings, over toward my garden area. I don't have a bagging system for my right mower, so I basically just use my right mower and my blower to move all those grass clippings over to my garden. And I just kind of blew them out in the garden and let them lay. So I applied my fertilizer the other day, and of course I've got X-Start on my yard, so that's why we're running it over there, keeping it separate. We used the green pop back here on the bluegrass, and so I used the higher bricks right here, and we're going to use the higher bricks over on the neighbors. That's a different video over there. Now, plugging hard ground, here's the deal. You got to have the equipment to do it. If you don't have the equipment that can actually break up the ground to create that seed to soil contact, to let that water get down, the oxygen get down, all that cool stuff, you're kind of pointless of trying it. We've had times that we've used aerators, core aerators, and they're literally bouncing off the ground, kind of like you would run it across a concrete driveway. Well, I've been very fortunate, very blessed. These are Stinger Aerators, core aerators. You ride on them and stand on them, very quick, very efficient, and they can still pull a plug when the ground's really rock hard. Now, this ground is hard as a brick. I'm running this thing at 800 psi of down pressure on the ground, and that's giving me about a 1-inch plug. That should tell you just how hard this ground is. Today is Saturday, and we are finally supposed to get some rain Monday and Tuesday. So that's why I'm plugging today. I'm kind of timing it around that rainfall. I've got the equipment that will allow me to plug in hard conditions, and the rain's coming. And actually, by then I'll have a little bit more time to stay on top of the watering. Now look, this ain't the Stinger video. I know I've been getting a lot of people ask me, what is that big yellow box, Pete? Well, that thing's gonna drop the seed as I'm plugging. Super efficient. It's the second I get done here, I'm immediately gonna go over and start filming another video on my neighbor's yard, and I'll go in extreme detail on this machine for all you pro guys who are interested. Phew, game changer. You don't want to miss that video. So basically, for what I'm gonna do back here, I've got a couple bad spots right in front of the building. It's kind of really rough right there. A lot of traffic in and out of the building from me and mowers and that kind of thing. And again, without watering and really taking care of that spot, man, when you get this hot and this dry, you got to expect things to go downhill. Fall of the year, it's time to bring it back to life. So with that said, I'm gonna put 1 50-pound bag of seed over this entire area. Okay, now I have the option, this thing's electronically controlled, which is really cool. I'm just gonna barely let the hopper open. The little holes in the hopper that let the seed out. And I'll show you all that in the next video. Barely let it out because I want that 50 pounds of seed to last me for the next hour and a half. Okay, because I'm gonna plug this thing for about a good hour and a half. That means I'm gonna go over it probably 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And the whole time I'm doing it, I'm just barely dropping a little bit of seed at a time. And that way when I get done, I've got my 50 pounds spread out pretty evenly over this area. Now my real bad spots, like right in front of the building, of course I'm gonna go over that even more times and break that ground up so it'll actually get a little more seed than say out here will. Here, I'll give you a sneak peek at it anyway. Boy, oh boy. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Again, I'll show you all that in the next video. That's 50 pounds of seed, and I can probably get maybe another, 15 pounds in there if I needed to. But I'm gonna go with 50 pounds on this back here. Oh my. Oh my, I cannot wait to make that other video. Look at all them plugs. Good day in the morning. I'd say I got it plugged pretty dang good. So hey, there you go. Got it plugged exceptionally well. I probably went over it 6 or 8 times at least. Have my grass seed setting on a very low number. That way I'm just constantly putting seed out. Be sure and subscribe, and I'll show you the results of this in about a month. I'll be real diligent with watering now. In about a month she'll come back to life. It'll look like a totally completely different area. So the season's kind of winding down a little bit. I'm getting excited. I'm getting a little more free time. Looking forward to the GIE. Hope to see a bunch of you folks there, get to shake your hand and meet you. But core aeration is what we just did. Put a bunch of little holes in the ground, give it some fertilizer. All those little holes will let the water get down in there a lot easier, and more importantly for me, you know, I use aerate, like liquid aeration, for that deep decompaction. Okay, core aeration is only gonna help you out, you know, a couple inches deep, 6 inches deep at the most. That liquid aerate is what creates that deep decompaction, like you see in my yard where I can drive that probe way down. This isn't going to do that. You need something a little more stronger than that. But what I use core aeration for is to create that perfect little seed bed for all my little brand new baby grass plants I just put down. At seed to soil contact, that seed will germinate and that root will come out, tack in the dirt, get going, come on up, and that way I get to mow a nice pretty yard and you get to see it. And also, this has kind of been bittersweet for me. This will be the last time that I aerate and overseed this particular piece of ground, and it's been a pretty cool piece of ground, but I cannot wait to get started on it next year, irrigate it, flatten it out, level, GCI Blue Heat, which is 100% Kentucky bluegrass. That'll be available next year, and I'm gonna plant it back here so I can show it to you. So hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure and subscribe again. I've got a few more good videos coming up. I'll show you if you're into this kind of yard stuff. I'm really into it. Matter of fact, I'm almost kind of, I don't know if I'm obsessed with it, but I'll just say I like it a whole lot. And I like this machine a whole lot too. So hey, check you later.